वैराग्य विद्या निज भक्ति योगा शिक्षार्थमेक पुरुष पुराना श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य शरीर धारी कृपाम्बुदीर्यतमहं प्रपद्ये मूकं करोति वाचालं पङ्गुं लङ्घयते गिरिं यत्कृपातमहं वन्दे श्रीगुरुदीनतारणं वाञ्छकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्यैव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौर भक्तवृंदा हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे Hare Krishna. Warm welcome everyone in the study of Nectar of Instruction. We'll continue our study of Nectar of Instruction by Srila Rupa Goswami. So, Srila Rupa Goswami, he had a personal dialogue, direct dialogue na, with Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, with Lord Chaitanya. Wow. It comes in Chaitanya Charitamrita Madhya Leela, chapter 19, I believe. Amazing. uh, Mahaprabhu gave instructions to Srila Rupa Goswami. Mahaprabhu gave instructions to Srila Sanatan Goswami. And them, Srila Rupa Goswami, Sanatan Goswami, they are giving us the process, the instructions, how to practice bhakti. Simplifying everything for us. Such practical guidance. Look, Srila Rupa Goswami wrote this nectar of instruction when 500 years ago, 520 something, or somewhat say 500 years ago. Uh, and he wrote many other books, and Srila Sanatan Goswami also wrote many such books and all, and such valuable wisdom and teachings they are giving us. Nothing exactly the same what Mahaprabhu told them. Uh, what they had a direct dialogue in Prayag for 10 days, I think, with Rupa Goswami, and with Sanatan Goswami also some days. Wow, fascinating. So the same instructions Rupa Goswami has embedded, or combined, or uh, giving us the same instructions. What a joy to be receiving these instructions in Guru Parampara from Rupa Goswami all the way to Prabhupada and present Guru works. Uh, and Mahaprabhu's instructions is what? Mahaprabhu's instructions is to become a recipient of love of Krishna. Na? Mahaprabhu, the Namo Mahavadanyaya Krishna Prem Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namne Gaurtishe Namah. So the most magnificent. You understand what does magnificent or magnificent we all know, right? Magnificent is Audarya. No, one who is very Kripalu, Dayalu, one who is very kind hearted, unlimitedly kind hearted. So that Mahaprabhu is freely distributing love of Krishna. And Srila Rupa Goswami, the saint, he is helping us, giving us these instructions how we can actually cash in or catch in proper this love of Krishna, how we can get in love of Krishna in this life itself, in this very life itself. How can we become attracted towards this message of Mahaprabhu, and the same message Rupa Goswami is sharing. And this should be the mood of every sadhaka. This should be the mood, the thought process, the working, uh, overall everything of every sadhaka, to understand the message of Mahaprabhu and to share and pass on the message of Mahaprabhu. So, with this hope, mood, prayer, aim, aspiration, yearning, longing, desire, hankering, cry, uh, somewhat sincerity, whatever tiny bit of humility, we continue our study of Nectar of Instruction. So, we are still on text one, and thankfully, see, our study should never be like a time box oriented study, that okay, it has to be done uh, in this time only, in half an hour and what more. No? So no, it should not be like that. Love is a free flow. Love is a free flow, and there should not be much restrictions or this thing in around love. Likewise, reading, japa, they should all become a free flow, and naturally we should go deep and deep into it. Further, see, this one thing we all as practicing Krishna consciousness as sadhakas, we have to realize this. We have to soon come to this platform to realize what? That we are short of time. Time should be, or we should always feel, experience, realize that we are short of time. बस समय ही नहीं है हमारे पास पढ़ने को जपने को कितना है ना सेवा करने को बस समय का ही अभाव होना चाहिए सो वी हैव लॉट्स टू डू लॉट्स ऑफ एंगेजमेंट रीड लिसन चैंट व्हाट नॉट and services just time is always short and you have to realize this and so much we have to become consumed that we should not have any time left out to entertain just some YouTube shorts or videos or some sports things or some BBC thing, some online shopping, just window surfing. No, no, no. These sadhakas, we have to free ourselves from any of such things. We have to go very concentrated, and these are these instructions which will help us develop love for Krishna. So we continue. And first text we'll read, and we'll ask Nikhil to read the translation and go into purport then from where we left yesterday. Vacho vegam manasa krodha vegam jiva vegam udarapastha vegam etan vegan visaheta dhira सर्वामपि मां पृथ्वीं सशिष्यात्. This is what the first instruction Srila Rupa Goswami is giving us, and he is wanting us. The text one, he is wanting us to come to this platform. Okay, Nikhil, read translation. Yeah, you were there, Nikhil. Nectar of
Yes, bro.
instruction. Text
Hare
one on
Krishna.
your screen. Hare Krishna.
I think what happened, I don't know. Let me reshare it.
Mm-hmm. So, Srila Rupa Goswami, na, he wants us to all uh, to be qualified, to attain this qualification, to demonstrate this sense control altogether. Okay, read translation.
A sober person who can tolerate the urge to speak, the mind's demands, the actions of anger, and the urges of the tongue, belly, and genitals is qualified to make disciples all over the world.
Yeah. So go to the purport. You know where we were last night. I
Mm,
think. Uh, yeah, I think when we refer to the urge to speak from there, and Prakhar read the purport from there. Yeah, scroll further down, further down,
So the restlessness or
a bit more
fickleness.
down, scroll down, yeah, scroll down. Mm. Okay, so yeah, scroll down, Nikhil. Yes, from here, when we refer to the urge from there, Nikhil. So, Prakhar, can you read when we refer to the.
When we
It,
refer to the urge to speak, we refer to useless talking, such as that of the impersonal Mayavadi philosophers or of persons engaged in fruitive activities technically called karmakand, or of materialistic people who simply want to enjoy life without restriction. All such talks or literatures are practical exhibitions of the urge to speak. Many people are talking nonsensically and writing volumes of useless books. And all this is the result of urge to speak. To counteract this tendency, we have to divert our talking to the subject of Krishna. This is explained in Srimad Bhagavatam 1.5.10.11.
न यद्वचश्चित्रपदं हरेर्यशो जगत्पवित्रं प्रगणितकर्हिचित् तद्वायसं तीर्थमुसन्ति मानस न यत्र हंसा निरमन्ति उशिक्षया.
These
Continue,
words,
brother.
which do not describe the glories of the Lord, who alone can sanctify the atmosphere of the whole universe, are considered by saintly persons to be like unto a place of pilgrimage for crows, since the all perfect persons are inhabitants of transcendental abode. They do not derive any pleasure there.
तद्वाग्विसर्गो जनतागविप्लवो यस्मिन् प्रतिश्लोकमभद्वति अपि नामानि अनन्तस्य यशोऽङ्कितानि यत् शृण्वन्ति गायन्ति गृह्णन्ति साधव. Prakhar, just read this one in quotes.
Okay, sure. On the other hand, that literature, which is full of descriptions of transcendental glories of the name, fame, forms, pastimes, etc., of these un, of the unlimited Supreme Lord, is a different creation, full of transcendental words directed towards bringing about a revolution in the impious lives of the world's misdirected civilization. Such transcendental literatures, even though imperfectly composed, are heard, sung, and accepted by the purified man who are thoroughly honest.
Renas, read from here.
The conclusion is that only when we talk about devotional service to the Supreme Personality of Godhead can we refrain from useless nonsensical talk. We should always endeavor to use our speaking power solely for the purpose of realizing Krishna consciousness. As for the agitations of the flickering mind, they are divided into two divisions. The first is called avirodh priti, or unrestricted attachment, and the other is called virodha yukta krodha, anger arising from frustration. Adherence to the philosophy of the Mayavadis, belief in the fruitive results of the Karmavadis, and belief in plans based on materialistic desires are called Avirodha Priti. Jnanis, karmis, and materialistic plan makers generally attract the attention of conditioned souls. But when the materialists cannot fulfill their plans, and when their devices are frustrated, they become angry. Frustration of material desires produces anger.
Nikhil,
Similarly,
read.
okay, Hare Krishna.
Nikhil, read.
Hare Krishna. Similarly, the demands of the body can be divided into three categories: the demands of the tongue, the belly, and the genitals. One may observe that these three senses are physically situated in a straight line as far as the body is concerned, and that the bodily demands begin with the tongue. If one can restrain the demands of the tongue by limiting its activities to the eating of prasad, the urges of the belly and the genitals can automatically be controlled. In this connection, Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur says,
शरीर विद्या जाल जदेन्द्रिय ताहे काल जीवे फैले विषय सागरे तार मध्य जीवती लोभा मोह सुदुर्मति ताके जित कठिन संसारे कृष्ण बड़ा दयामय करी बारे जीवा जय स्वप्रसादन दिलो भाई सही अमृत पाओ राधा कृष्ण गुण गाओ प्रेमे डाको चैतन्य निताय.
O Lord, this material body is a lump of ignorance, and the senses are a network of paths leading to death. Somehow or other, we have fallen into the ocean of material sense enjoyment. And of all the senses, the tongue is the most voracious and uncontrollable. It is very difficult to conquer the tongue in this world. But you, dear Krishna, are very kind to us. You have sent this nice prasad to help us conquer the tongue. Therefore, let us take this prasad to our full satisfaction and glorify your lordships, Shri Shri Radha and Krishna, and in love call for the help of Lord Chaitanya and Prabhu Nityananda.
Jai, jai. So, okay, any questions, comments, or thoughts so far? Anything closely or remotely say which is a bit by any chance awkward, not in just this reading, but overall so far what we have been studying or in our practice of Krishna consciousness. Okay, so I think we can discuss little bit till here and then we'll read the remainder of the purport later a bit. We see. Yeah. So Rupa Goswami, this is the first instruction and this is expectation. Look, expectation is such a strong and heavy word in today's day and age. Mm, Expectation is very heavy. We all are kind of succumbed or uh, taken over in many ways or by and large by expectation. Na? And Krishna also has expectation from us. Look, see, people at work have expectation from us. People at school, college, uni, friends, family members, society, government, everyone has expectations. Now, wouldn't Krishna have expectations from us? Krishna also has expectations from us. Prabhupada, Rupa Goswami has expectations from us. And Krishna's expectations is all very realistic expectations. Mm, and this is realistic. This ability to control mind, to control senses, to control the urge to speak, all these demands of the mind, anger, belly, this is all realistic to be controlled, say. Look, when we in life, na, um, in human form of life or in animals and what? They say now, scripture say what? Four things are common. Four things are common. Anyone who would want to call out those four things which are common in every species? Anuja, Karthik, and Nikhil, if you are us.
Hunger. One would be hunger.
Okay, food, yes. Anuja
Eating,
saying
Love.
something.
sleeping, mating, defending.
Hmm. Hmm. So this eating, food, na? Eating. Humans also eat, animals also eat, plants also eat. Some plants they eat from their legs, from their feet. So this eating is common. Then eating, sleeping. Hmm. Sleeping is common, all the species. Eating, sleeping, mating, na? Sense enjoyment. It's common.
Defending.
Defending. Hmm. Eating, sleeping, mating, defending. It's very common. Now see, when this on this mating things, we humans are we are very we are very rare. and we are very blessed also. It's just unfortunate is we do not realize our true potential. That is just a very unfortunate thing. Now, when eating is good, uh, sleeping is good, as in eating, as in finances, there's no need to worry about grocery and good food and all, and health is also okay, say. Sleeping is good, as in okay, some comfort and good sleep and not taking much medication and things like that. Defense is fine, as in like okay, secured life, say. Then what a person will do? Sense enjoyment only, fully. He would want to go and might go a bit wild and crazy in sense enjoyment. No? Uh, and when eating, sleeping, defending is not going fine, then we do restrict our sense enjoyment. So it is not that sense enjoyment cannot be restricted. Enjoyment can see. Okay, speaking on this now, eating, sleeping, mating, defending, four things. Which one do you think cannot be? We cannot live without. Which one do you think we can live without, and which one is it that we cannot live without? Eating, sleeping, mating, defending.
Prabhuji, we cannot live without eating, sleeping, and defending.
Okay.
We can live without
Anyone
mating,
else?
but cannot live without rest of the three.
Nice. Anyone else? Any other thoughts? Eh, true. Yeah, very good, Karthik. We cannot live without eating. Doesn't matter how much intermittent fasting or less diet we take. There are many yogis and all, na? Jain monks and so many monks, they eat so bare little. Mm, Just like not even just like birds. But still, no one can live without eating. No one. Sleeping. Some sleep very. Rupa Goswami, who wrote Nectar of Instruction, you know how many hours he used to sleep? Hour and a half only. Hour, and that also some days he used to forget sleeping. Some days, him and his brother Sanatan Goswami, and then their nephew Jiva Goswami, Raghunath Das Goswami, Raghunath Bhatta Goswami, Gopal Bhatt Goswamis, these Goswamis from Vrindavan. It is so purifying to be able to call out their names actually, to think of them. And no capacity to glorify them, no understanding, knowledge, no purity, but wish if we can glorify them. So Rupa Goswami, he used to sleep under tree. Hmm. And now hour and a half, and not the same tree every night. Would be changing trees in Vrindavan, in groves and forest of Vrindavan, different tree, different nights, and sleep little. And sometimes when they were so engrossed in the writings, teachings, and bhajans and chanting and japa, they would forget even about sleeping. And no bhan, no thought of food, and what to speak of sense guided. Actually, our Goswamis, they are the real sense enjoyers. If someone wants to become a real sense enjoyer, practice Krishna consciousness, Baba. Look, so eating, sleeping, mating, defending, na? We cannot live without eating. We cannot. No yogi, no uh, yogi or monk or someone sadhu saint cannot live without eating. Then sleeping. No yogi, monk, sadhu, saint cannot live without sleeping. No, everyone, businessman, politician, how busy schedule and all, we cannot live without eating, we cannot live without sleeping. Then defending. We cannot live without defending. But we all can live without sense enjoyment. Sense enjoyment means personal self obsession, self centered, that sort of sense enjoyment. We all can live without. And especially this yon vritti, na? This male and female bodily sexual attraction. This has to be completely flushed out of our system altogether. We were discussing now that the asexual, we have to come about. And in the practice of Krishna consciousness, one doesn't need to make any separate extra endeavor to come out of this mentality of sense enjoyment, sense gratification, sexual attraction. No, one just need to associate with devotees. In association with devotees, Do good japa, very attentive japa, loud, clear, attentive, focused japa from the heart. And doing japa, one will get the hang, the art, the skill, the call, say how to call out to Krishna. Do good japa. Huh? And with devotees, go parikrama, go for pilgrimage, serve Vaishnavas and all. And then one doesn't need to do any extra separate endeavor. Look, Krishna consciousness does not say do not eat. Rather, purify the eating. Purify the eating how? Offering food to Krishna. Hmm? We are not after sattvic food. We are not after vegetarian and food sattvic in the mode of goodness. No, we are after prasadam. So we offer food to Krishna. Of course, we offer vegetarian food only, and we offer it to Krishna and it becomes prasad. So it's not like don't, yeah, we cannot live without eating. So take prasad, na baba. One could well be in Lisbon, a place in Portugal, huh? But still one can take prasadam there. Then sleeping, there's not like, okay, don't sleep. No, huh? Just don't sleep like awkward hours or long and all. That has to be restricted. Don't eat here and there or whatever. Huh? That restrict that and take prasadam only. Hmm? Sleep good hours, sleep or go too early to bed and all come under discipline. Huh? Then what? Defend. Okay, there's all mechanisms there in place. But this sense gratification has to be flushed out of our system. And the two can never coincide or they can never go hand in hand. What? Us going shopping, us going somewhat partying, socializing, all these things, and also trying to practice Krishna consciousness. To begin with, we may do it in the morning time, try to be a devotee, practice Krishna consciousness, evening time, go socializing, partying, and all worldly affairs, worldly gossips, and all. And we cannot continue. And in a week's time, we'll realize, well, either has to go. There's a devotee friend, female devotee friend. She used to go to temple in London, Soho Street, and she herself shared this in a temple class actually. So I'm sharing her. What she used to go to Soho Street, this temple in central London. It's called temple in central London, and listening to a class from a devotee there that when we chant the holy names of Krishna with in sincerity, with faith, with attention, with intensity, then we can experience Krishna dancing in our tongue, dancing on our tongue. And when we chant the holy name of Krishna, it is so pure. So Prabhu in the class was glorifying the japa, glorifying the holy name of Krishna, which is non-different from Krishna. And this girl who was new in practicing Krishna consciousness, so she was doing japa. She was doing japa. She used to come to temple, attend kirtan and harinam. uh, and when heard this, it touched her a bit. It touched her, and then she said to herself, "What am I doing? I cannot continue both like this. That doing japa also, and then now and then or odd days I take cigarette as well, or I'm still smoking. One of this has to go." So you know what she did for next some days? She used to that, okay, whenever I need to smoke a cigarette, I will do one round of japa first. Huh? So do one round of japa and then okay, I will try to go smoking. Do one round of japa and then maybe okay, I will go smoking. I won't smoke unless I've chanted. And then she came to a point, well, the two has to go. I chant the holy names of Krishna on beads, do this japa, and this gives me such a highest joy that how can I allow that the smell of nicotine and cigarette come in my mouth? No, that has to go. Then the cigarette had to make way. It had to exit. Likewise, from our system, any form of sense gratification, this is still gross. No, smoking and all this general, the whole world is generally caught up in this sort of intoxication, sense enjoyment only. Na? Drinking, socializing, partying, clubbing, gambling, all such sort of things, and sports and all of this. Look, where do all of this fuel or press us upon towards this sexual attraction? All of this towards this diverts towards there only. By and large, if we see, so this sense enjoyment has to go from our system, and that doesn't mean that practicing Krishna consciousness life is any dull or boring or without sense enjoyment. There's so much of enjoyment in kirtan, so much of fun in kirtan. You dance in kirtan, you sing in kirtan, you lose yourself in kirtan. We have to lose ourselves in Krishna consciousness in order to discover ourselves. Until and unless we lose ourselves, as in, until and unless we give ourselves in Krishna consciousness, we wouldn't find ourselves. We will never discover ourselves in Krishna consciousness. So we have to lose ourselves. We have to give ourselves this fair chance, this opportunity. So sense enjoyment, yes, Kirtan, there is sense enjoyment. Now prasad, eat prasadam, na? As much as one like to one's delight. Take full prasadam. Eat up to your neck. And such delicious prasadam, Sunday feast programs and everything. Hmm. Then what? Travel with devotees. So much avenues for their good sense enjoyment altogether. And see, practicing Krishna consciousness, we cannot escape sense enjoyment, even if we do not want. That is the joy. You do japa. And why do we do japa? To glorify Krishna, to please Krishna. Who should be the recipient of all enjoyment? Radha Krishna. We do japa so that they become happy. They become pleased. Uh, that yes, Krishna, we are making an effort to make you smile. Always, Krishna is anyway smiling, always smiling. Radha Krishna always smiling. They always together say. Or even in separation, this is that yes, we do this service to unite you. Uh, our joy should lie in the joy of Radha and Krishna. Human sadhaka's life is Radha Krishna Prityarth, Guru Gaurang Prityarth. Everything, whatever we do in life, should be aimed to facilitate the joy of Guru and Gaurang, to facilitate the joy of Radha Krishna. Now, when we chant with that mood, we read, we do japa, we distribute books, whatever, so much joy Krishna gives to us. We cannot, we just cannot not have it. It will come. But, but this is like kind of the secondary joy or joy of service. Say. So it's not like this is any morose or boring or mundane sort of. And there's no comparison. Dancing in a pub and dancing in temple, there's no comparison of it. Huh? Singing kirtan in a temple room and singing a gig in a pub, there's no comparison. Uh, watching sitcom or such shows, Netflix, web series, and watching Shrimad Bhagavatam, listening to Shrimad Bhagavatam, no comparison. No comparison. This is what these verses also, na 1, 5, 10, 11 we saw, na Tadvag Visargo Janatag Viplavo. Yasmin Prati Shlokam Abhadvati api. Namani Anantasya Yasho Ankitani Shrinvanti Gayanti Grinanti Sadhava. Yes, this is Narad Muni. One day, by Krishna's blessings, Vaishnava's blessings, we'll try to study Shrimad Bhagavatam. So, this is Narad Muni telling to Vyasdev ji. Hmm. Tadvag Visargo Janatag Viplavo. Uh, Viplav means what? Kranti, revolution. Hmm. That by and Janatag Viplavo. Jan is for humans. Ag is like sinful. So all our sinful reactions, sinful thoughts, sinful desires. And again, see, sin may sound a bit of a harsh word, and again, it may sound like a religious, fanatic sort of word, but actually, it is not. Essentially, what does sin mean? Any thought, any desire, any action, hmm, any aim, aspiration, vision which is outside of in a loving relationship with Krishna. That is sin. Eh? That is sin. So, in our overall system, there will be a revolution altogether. Eh? Yasmin, when one listens to Shrimad Bhagavatam, although Yasmin Prati Shlokam Abhadvati Api, although each and every stanza, Prati Shlokam could be grammatically incorrect, say. Hmm? Could be grammatically incorrect. But yet, when one listens to writings of our acharyas, to Srimad Bhagavatam, which is what? Namani anantasya yasho ankitani yat, hmm, which is glorifying. The yash, glorifying na namani anantasya, Krishna's unlimited name, form, pastime, glories, which is imprinted, ankintani, which is written there. Shrinvanti, Gayanti, Grinanti Sadhava. And that is what saints do. They sing, they dance, they chant, they recite, all of this. This should be our business altogether. Ah, and the previous one, it says, Na yad vachas chitrapadam harer yasho. Jagat pavitram pragnita karichit. So, the lotus feet of Lord, the lotus feet of saints, they purify the entire atmosphere. Hmm? But where that sabha, that assembly, where Krishna and his devotees and loving devotional service, bhakti is not glorified. That sabha is what? It says in Shrimad Bhagavatam that sabha is like an assembly of crows assembled together. Do you know where do crows assemble? This is a question. Where do crows assemble? In where? Yeah, in carcasses, in dead bodies, where dead bodies, no, leftover dead bodies, crows
Around
assemble there.
negative energies.
Where there is dirt, where there is dirty environment, carcasses, all these crows assemble there. And what do they do? Crows assemble ka. And crow's voice, no, not so soothing, not so soothing. And you see, one crow is calling another crow, come here, come here, come here. This sort of, and all dirt, all dirty or filthy there. And we all should travel Vrindavan. We all should go to Vrindavan. And in Vrindavan, we wouldn't see crows flying around, no. Hmm. So, this, and where do swans assemble? In very soothing, calming, beautiful, quiet, peaceful, neat place altogether. So, this is where practicing Krishna consciousness, this is going to be bound to be everyone's realization. Provided we practice in association with devotees, we will realize that the things we used to do previously, we wouldn't find any charm in it. Be it whatever level of sense enjoyment, whatever sort of sense enjoyment, we wouldn't find charm in it, money and all, no. Huh? And practicing Krishna conscious, this simplicity life, simple life will be so charming, so soul nurturing altogether. Okay, Karthike, you were saying something?
Prabhuji, I was asking, what if when you go out for socializing, you make sure that you follow the four Vaishnav laws, and when you are out socializing, it is good for your growth in material world, like for anything, like it is helping you expanding your network or something of the sort.
See, our expanding our network now or on these lines. Look, Prabhupada, when he went to America, hmm, and he was registering for ISKCON. So, what is ISKCON full form, Karthike?
International Society for Krishna Consciousness.
Haribol, International Society for Krishna Consciousness. So, when he came up with this name, coined this name, or some devotees and all acronymed and coined this. Prabhupada liked it and said, yes, we'll go with this name. So some of the American, not practicing Krishna conscious and but well-wishers, say friends of Prabhupada, say, and some others, those who are into a bit legal law and societal things, they suggested Prabhupada, Swamiji, why this name? This name is very sectarian name, and you won't have a good following with this name. Go with the name what? International Society for God Consciousness. Then you will attract many Americans and Europeans and others. But Prabhupada said, and some others also, they said, Swamiji, why do you put so much restriction? No meat eating, no illicit sex, no gambling, no intoxication. They remove some of them or lighten them something, make some changes around them. Then you see you will have more people coming to you and taking. So Prabhupada replied, just to please you Americans, I will not change the philosophy. Just to please you Americans and please your this na since eternity we are used to since eternity we are so conditioned to sense enjoyment. I tell you one small thing say on sense enjoyment इतना फूट फूट के हमें भरा पड़ा है ना रग रग में. This is so deeply ingrained in us. And check this out. This is reality. So Akbar and Birbal. These are very popular stories from India. Akbar and Birbal. So a king and his um, this a king and his minister, a wise minister, good advisory minister. So uh, the king says to the minister that Birbal, when people get a bit older, then they matured, then they are fine. It's only in young age they go a bit crazy and they do crazy things and all, uh, chasing women or money and or buying and breaking and passionate oriented. When they get over 50 plus and all, then they are sober, calm, quiet and all, and then all those goes away, say lust, greed, pride, and all this subsides. But the minister he refused. He said no. Just see, in human form of life, just growing in number of years doesn't make anyone any knowledgeable. Just growing in number of years. There are some people, they could be 60 plus, but irony is they do not even manage to accumulate world life experience. Hmm? What to speak of any knowledge? Knowledge is above world life experience, and what to speak of wisdom? So Birbal refused and he said, Can you? How do you refuse?" So Birbal says, "Okay, I will prove it to you in near the time." Okay. So now, uh, one of the royal family members, one of the supporter of that royal family, say, elderly person, he was on his deathbed, was on his deathbed, counting his final days or hours, or minutes, very much on his deathbed, was just passing away. So the king got to know, and the family arranged, okay, king, please can you come once? And Birbal said, let's go. Okay. So Birbal arranged for the king to go, and the Birbal said, look, we are going, and it's a social setting. It's a bit a hard time for the family. Why don't you take your granddaughter? Let us take your granddaughter also with you for this visit. Let us not make it as a official royal family sort of visit, like a king sort of visit. Like, let's make it a bit of a family oriented. Okay, fine, king agreed. So Birbal, the minister, the king, and his granddaughter, young granddaughter. So they went in. Now, the granddaughter had ankle bells, ankle bells, and on hand also some bangles, and they were making noise, chan, 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 as she was walking. Down towards the room, say. Now, Birbal, he suddenly stopped the king, or he suddenly said, and let the girls go first. And they wanted to see the old man's reaction. How does the old man react, or say, seeing this sound and this thing coming? The old man in his deathbed, he could still hear some girls, some women's ankle bells ringing, and girls' perfume or some fragrance and all, and it could be seen in his eyes altogether, lit up or a bit like even though physically unable to give up the bed, he was wanting to give up the bed and see who is this young, beautiful, say girl. And this was seen. Birbal and the king, Birbal could see. Birbal nudged the king, look, look. And the king also saw. And later on, Birbal said, look, king, just by growing or even that bed, one's conditioning cannot just go out like that. Such deep rooted conditioning. Na? So, Karthike, doesn't matter. Devotees are not here to please the world, and devotees should not be. See, devotee means what? Saintly person. Na? Saintly person means what? A pure person, honest person. Devotee, what is the definition of a devotee? One who is simple, mm, one who is honest. Simple doesn't mean not having a job. Okay, one could be having a job in central London. There are many banks and investment jobs, finance jobs, crazy good money, crazy money, whatever, central London, huh? America, Silicon Valley, and all were not say. So that doesn't mean that okay, not having a job as such. No, huh? Simple means what? Not crooked, not manipulative, not cheat, not having hidden agenda. Those lines, huh? So someone who is simple, someone who is honest, simplicity, honesty, integrity, keeping Krishna at the center. So, us practicing Krishna consciousness, we are not here to please the world. And that doesn't mean that we are showing the world low or putting the world in a low light or disrespecting or offending the world. No. Practicing Krishna consciousness doesn't give us any iota of license to disrespect even an ant. Mm, to disrespect even an ant. And we can know a practicing sadhaka should never entertain such thoughts in his heart mind that he's any iota better than others. No. It will be very dangerous, very lethal in our progressive realization of Krishna if we even for a moment entertain such thought that I am better than others or I am better than him or her. Hmm. I'm better than my brother, I'm better than my sister, I'm better than my father or mother, or at least I'm better in this sense. At least I have five, I can count, I can express, I can prove to you I have five better qualities than my wife say. No, no. Huh? So we are not here to please the world. That doesn't mean, of course, that the world is low or below us. No, huh? We are here to please Krishna. And when we want to please Krishna, then yes, Krishna will send what? Money also and many also. Huh? Many will come, provided we are pure, we are integral. Hmm? What else is needed? Prabhupada wanted what? He wanted one moon. Prabhupada's spiritual master, he said, one pure devotee. I just want to produce one pure devotee. One pure devotee can elevate the entire universe. Prabhupada also wanted moon, not stars. You know, stars, how much this Roshni, how much light can a star provide? Huh? How much light can they provide? One moon is enough na, to brighten up the sky altogether. One moon. Stars, how many? So we are not here like, okay, let me make some contact like this, like that, and all. Of course, we are not against eh, meeting people and socializing in that sense or meeting celebrities, politicians, and all. Huh? But throughout, integrity has to be seen as such. And we don't need to make that endeavor as such that, okay, let me go into pub and let me do it this way and all, and I can slip in Krishna consciousness. No, no, no. This is like treading on very thin ice and all. And no, we don't want this sort of path taking into practicing and preaching Krishna consciousness. Does this somewhat answer your question, Karthika?
Yes, Prabhuji.
First of all, preaching is for whom? Preaching is for whom? Preaching is always for oneself. Preaching is always to oneself. Hmm. If I s- if I ever think that okay, I've become a teacher and I can counsel others, I can tell others on nectar of instruction and all or anything, then I'm pushing myself far behind. Already I'm far behind, and if I allow any of such thoughts. So preaching is always to oneself actually. This is a question. We are studying nectar of instruction. Na? Who should be the who is this instruction for? Who should be the first person to take this instruction? What do you say?
Oneself.
For oneself only. And you know, sometimes it might come, what? Hearing this, reading this, and all, it might come. Let me know if it comes or not. What? Oh, better my mum. She should listen to this recording. Oh, better my father. He should listen to this recording. My brother, my sister, my husband, my wife, my children. I will make them listen. Look, Why don't you get this? Why don't you become like this? Why don't you bring this in you and all? Huh? You know, Krishna consciousness is what? Science of self realization. So it is for me to realize this. If the other person benefits or realizes, that's such a big bonus. But it is all to work on myself only. Yeah. So eating, sleeping, mating, defending, it is worldwide. Animals also do the same. But animals are even more restricted than us. They are more regulated. They are regulated in their eating habits. They are regulated in their sleeping habits. They are regulated in their defending habits. They are regulated in their mating habits. Very regulated, disciplined, pakka. Us humans, are we regulated in our eating? Are we regulated in our sleeping? Are we regulated in our mating? Are we regulated in our defending? We are the most wild creatures, very unruly in all. Hmm? This is why we read na Purport Sharirar Avidya Jal. Such beautiful prayer Bhakti Vinod Thakur has written. This body is a lump of ignorance. Avidya Jal. Yeah? It Jal. Jal matlab kya? Network na? Okay. Nikhil, share screen. Bring that again. Sharirar Avidya Jal. The translation there. हाँ, this body is a lump of ignorance matter अविद्या का जाल है पूरा का पूरा अज्ञान अविद्या का शरीर अविद्या जाल जड़ेंद्रिय ताहे काल and on top of this the senses wow तार मध्य जीवति लोभामय सुदुर्मति ताके जिता कंटेन संसार है so this uh, uh, and we are fallen into this sense enjoyment. This is a big bug, bug disease or a kida na bug amongst all of us, beaten heavily by what? Sense enjoyment, sense enjoyment. Mm, in every place, I'm sure in Australia, New Zealand, Canada, America, Europe, India. In India, in Hindi, very popular, they say ना मजा नहीं आया कुछ मजा चाहिए है ना isn't it कार्तिक भाई मजा आ गया मजा आ गया यार क्या पार्टी थी क्या ड्रेसिंग था क्या ये था हाँ and likewise in every country every culture every language this is same mood oh something fun something missing oh how do people say oh what a filthy party it was na what such words and all anyways okay so um so look the tongue if the tongue is controlled. Huh? How to control the tongue? Through chanting, through honoring prasadam. And if the tongue is controlled, then all other senses will fall in line. It says na the tongue, belly, and genitals they are all in a straight line. Huh? So scientific. Huh? They are all in a straight line. So what we give to the tongue huh, goes in the belly, agitates us, and it shakes all our thought process. Shakes so much of our thought process. They say the brain above our arms, the body above our arms is in the mode of goodness. Hmm? In the arms, the belly, that's the mode of passion, very active, uh, strong arms, that sort of thing. And people use this, we use this, no? So, mode of passion, this arms, belly, mixed mode of passions and what passion and ignorance and below waist is all body below or waist is all in mode of ignorance so what we eat it agitates our body organs consciousness level all together so the eating na tongue stomach all in a straight line. Now, if we take Krishna Prasad and if we chant the holy names of Krishna, such purification will feel that the body has so many energy, no flowing energy in the body. You do yoga and also many, no, and this energy has to be retained in the body. It has to be preserved, the vitality, and it has to flow up and up and up. Then we will experience confidence, clarity. Okay, let us read a bit more. Anuja, read from this. There are 6 kinds of rasas. Or Harsha, read. Okay, Anuja, read. There are 6 kinds of rasas.
There are 6 kinds of rasas, tastes, and if one is agitated by any one of them, he becomes controlled by the urges of the tongue. Some persons are attracted to the eating of meat, fish, crabs, eggs, and other things produced by semen and blood and eaten in the form of dead bodies. Others are attracted by eating vegetables, creepers, spinach, or milk products, but all of the satisfaction of the tongue's demands. Such eating for sense gratification, including the use of extra quantities of spices like chili and tamarind, is to be given up by Krishna conscious persons. The use of pan, haritat, betel nuts, various spices used in pan making, tobacco, LSD, marijuana, opium, liquor, coffee, and tea is indulged in to fulfill illicit demands. If we can practice accepting only remnants of food offered to Krishna, it is possible to get free from the Maya's victimization. Vegetables, grains, fruits, milk products, and water are proper foods to offer to the Lord, as Lord Krishna himself prescribes. However, if one accepts prasad only because of its palatable taste and thus eats too much, he also falls prey to trying to satisfy the demands of the tongue. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu taught us to avoid very palatable dishes even while eating prasadam. If we offer palatable dishes to the deity with the intention of eating such nice food, we are involved in trying to satisfy the demands of the tongue. If we accept the invitation of such of a rich man with the idea of receiving palatable food, we are also trying to satisfy the demands of the tongue. In Chaitanya Charitamrita, Antya 6.227, it is stated, Jivere
जीवे
lalasha
जीवे
ye
रे लालस ये इति उति धाये शिष्णोदर परायण कृष्ण नाही पाए.
that person who runs here and there seeking to gratify his palate and who is always attached to the desires of his stomach and genitals is unable to attain Krishna.
Yeah, read Anuja.
As stated before, the tongue, belly, and genitals are all situated in a straight line and they fall in the same category. Lord Chaitanya has said, Bhala na,
ভালো না খাইবে আর ভালো না পরিবে.
do not dress luxuriously and do not eat delicious foodstuffs. Chaitanya Charitamrita Antya 6.236. Those who suffer from diseases of the stomach must be unable to control the urges of the belly, at least according to this analysis. When we desire to eat more than necessary, we automatically create many inconveniences in life. However, if we observe fasting days like Ekadashi and Janmashtami, we can restrain the demands of the belly. As far as the urges of the genitals are concerned, there are two proper and improper, or legal and illicit sex. When a man is properly mature, he can marry according to the rules and regulations of the Shastras and use his genitals for begetting nice children. That is legal and religious. Otherwise, he may adopt many artificial means to satisfy the demands of the genitals and he may not use any restraint. When one indulges in illicit sex life, as defined by the Shastras, either by thinking, planning, talking about, or actually having sexual intercourse or by satisfying the genitals by artificial means, he is caught in the clutches of Maya. These instructions apply not only to householders but also to Tyagis or those who are in the renounced order of life. In his book Prema Vivarta, chapter 7, Sri
Sri
Jagananda
Jagadananda Pandit says,
Pandita says,
वैरागी भाई ग्राम्य कथा न सुनिबे काने ग्राम्य वार्ता न कहिबे यबे मिलिबे आने स्वपने ओ न कोरो भाई स्त्री संभाषणम गृहे स्त्री छाड़िया भाई आश्चिया छे वन यदि चाह प्रणय राखिते गौरांगे रसने छोटा हरिदासेर कथा थाके ये न मने ভালো না খাইবে আর ভালো না পড়িবে হৃদয়েতে রাধা কৃষ্ণ sarvada sevibe. This is we were discussing na that throughout a sadhaka's 24 hours his mood, his contemplation should be to please the divine couple. Harsha, read from here.
My dear brother, you are in the renounced order of life and should not listen to talk about ordinary worldly things. Nor should you talk about worldly things when you meet with others. Do not think of women even in dreams. You have accepted the renounced order of life with a vow that forbids you to associate with women. If you wish to associate with Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, you must always remember the incident of Chota Haridasa and how he was rejected by the Lord. Do not eat luxurious dishes or dress in fine garments, but always remain humble and serve their lordships, Sri Sri Radha Krishna, in your heart of hearts. The conclusion is that one who can control these 6 items, speech, mind, anger, tongue, belly, and genitals, is to be called a Swami or Goswami. Swami means master, and Goswami means master of the go or senses. When one accepts the renounced order of life, he automatically assumes the title of Swami. When one accepts the renounced order of life, he automatically assumes the title of Swami. This does not mean that he is the master of his family, community, or society. He must be master of his senses. Unless one is master of his senses, he should not be called Goswami, but Godasa, servant of the senses. Following in the footsteps of the 6 Goswamis of Vrindavan, all Swamis and Goswamis should fully engage in the transcendental loving service of the Lord. As opposed to this, the Godasas engage in the service of the senses or in the service of the material world. They have no other engagement. Prahlad Maharaj has further described the Godasa and Adanta Go, which refers to one whose senses are not controlled. An Adanta Go cannot become a servant of Krishna. In Srimad Bhagavatam 7.5.30, Prahlad Maharaj had said,
मतीर्न कृष्णे परतस्वतो वा मिथो विपेद्येत गृहव्रतानाम् अदान्तगोभिर्विसतां तमिश्रम् पुनः पुनः चर्वितचर्वनानाम्. Karthik, read.
Yes, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna. For those who have decided to continue their existence in this material world for the gratification of their senses, there is no chance of becoming Krishna conscious, not by personal endeavor, by instructions from others, or by joint conferences. They are dragged by unbridled senses into the darkest region of the ignorance, and thus they merely engage in what is called chewing the chewed.
They madly engage, madly. पागल की तरह. Chewing the chewed. Fascinating purport, na? Fascinating purport by Prabhupada. So real. Renas, Nikhil, keep at this bottom only. This translation for Matirna Krishna. So real Prabhupada's purport. And look, Srila Rupa Goswami, he gave the shloka, the Sanskrit, just the text one, and Prabhupada gave translation, and then commentary. So this was written like 500 years ago by Rupa Goswami, this text one. Huh? And Prabhupada gave this commentaries 50, 60 years ago, 50 years ago, something. So, but I wonder, devotees in 70s, 80s, they were distributing this book in UK, in America, in Western Europe, Eastern Europe, in Australia, New Zealand. So imagine people in 70s and 80s. Now life in India and other places in 70s was very different to what it is now. Okay, screen हटा सकते हो निखिल ठीक है. हाँ, life in 70s was very different to what it is now. Life in 80s in again in say Sydney, big cities, na Sydney, London, Munich, Paris, Milan, New York, Mumbai, very different in 80s, 90s, and all. And this book was handed over for people to read. Same instruction than anyone now. The same. Okay, Renus, you have something to say?
Yeah, Hare Krishna. Yeah, maybe I just interrupt him, but can you maybe later on talk about this Prabhupada talks about this incident with Haridas uh,
Mm-hmm.
here in purpose.
Mm-hmm.
He says like
Chota Haridas.
yeah to associate with Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. You should remember the incident of the Haridas. Can you tell about that?
Yeah, so it comes in Mahaprabhu's Leela. Chota Haridas, no, he was a brahmachari. He was a monk, a saffron renounced monk. And him, uh, he was doing some service for Mahaprabhu, but he was um, associating with women in that service very much. And it might happen in ours, it definitely with us, na, that we may want to do some service, but in that service we try to see go for sense gratification, na? Oh, so we may want to do service externally. What? Okay, no, I'm just doing service. I've got no personal interest in her. Say, I'm just doing a service. But internally, what? Harboring a emotional or that sort of relationship. It is very, very, very bad. Very bad. Um Playing with someone's emotions, na, is very bad. It's very bad. So like someone na it could be this undeniable, na? This male and female attraction is undeniable, and it's not like it's wrong. This attraction has to be diverted towards Krishna. This attraction, any form of attraction we have in this world, like Samantha was saying na, yesterday, that oh, what does it mean? Should we just love Krishna and not love our parents and friends, family, society? No, we do love, we do care and all, but love friends, family, society, parents spiritually, not materially. eh, and see everyone as Krishnas. So even in husband and wife relationship, though married, but there should be decency, there should be sense control, there should be regulation, and it's not like a husband and wife married, so have they've been given any license for sense enjoyment, say no, and neither of them should be using one another as an object for sense enjoyment. Definitely not. Not altogether. So this incident, Chota Haridas Thakur, he in doing some services, he engaged with Mataji, with some woman, elderly young woman or elderly woman, and he broke some culture or say the etiquette, and Mahaprabhu never liked breaking of culture or etiquette. So Mahaprabhu was displeased with him, and Mahaprabhu banned him from his association. Such a, the such a heinous, very strong. even stronger than a thunderstorm, than lightning, will be what? When we hear these words from Krishna. What words? Krishna telling us, okay, from now on, you are on your own. You don't need me then. This is what we have been doing. Krishna wants to come to us, and we say, no, Krishna, we are fine. So Krishna says, okay, fine, then you are on your own. You want to take things in your hands by yourself, so you are on your own. And hearing this will should give us a lot of pain. When we are genuinely in love with someone, na, and when we hear the person says, no, no, you are on your own, oh, it will shatter one person's heart, na. So Chota Haridas Mahaprabhu told him then, okay, fine, you are on your own, Chota Haridas. Hmm? And so much so, then he wrote a poetry, a song for Mahaprabhu glorifying, and he committed suicide. He gave up his life uh, in Jagannath Puri, in the ocean, in the sea there. And devotees had kirtan and a thing, and then um, Mahaprabhu came in dream, and furthermore to it. But the message for us is to be, see, practicing Krishna consciousness, spiritual life. It is like walking on thin edge, or what they say, walking on a razor's blade. Huh? Like that, walking on a razor's blade. Now, see, it kind of maybe ties in with this shloka also, Matirna Krishna Parato Satova. So, razor, na, the blade, when it is very new, those who new blade and do razor shaving with it, now one has to be very careful. And if the razor is not used in the proper direction, proper angle, new blade, sharp blade, what will happen? Blood, it will cut straight away, blood will come out. Likewise, practicing Krishna consciousness, we should never think, okay, I'm free from Maya, I have become very strong, I'm not getting tempted. I won't get tempted. No, I'm free from lust now. I don't have any lust now. I used to have before practicing Krishna consciousness, but now no, lust does not disturb me, bother me. No, one should not entertain such thoughts. No, one should never think that, okay, I'm strong enough. No. Genuinely, look, when we always feel, realize this thing, na, fear is a great thing. To be fearful is a great thing. If we always are fearful, na, we will never go into sense enjoyment. If I'm genuinely fearful, if I'm genuinely scared and worried, hmm, I wouldn't want to indulge in sense enjoyment. Look, we are people are fear of fire, right? So if when fire breaks down, doesn't matter however unruly person he will be, say, huh? People show off now. Oh, I can drink this much beer, I can eat this much of food, I can um, play video games for such long hours and all. But say if, if fire has broken out, doesn't matter, could be the world's heaviest person, physically strongest person, but fire breaks out, no one would want to go in, will be very fearful. Suppose in a pub fire breaks out, who will go there and dance and drinks? So thing is, we have, fear is a great thing. If we are fearful of, say, sinful life, or fearful of deviating in Krishna consciousness and all, then we can keep ourselves in the right track. So that shaving, na, sharp razor not used properly will cut. And another thing with shaving is what? Shaving, boys, na, when they, I don't know, year 10, year 11, or 17, 16, whatever age say and all, many boys, na, growing up, oh, when will I just be 2 years old? More, 2 more years, and I will start shaving. I see my brother shave, I see my father shave. I want to do shave. And some boys, they don't get, say, beard coming, but they will want to apply shaving cream and do something, and they want to just shave, and then yes. So initially it is so lucrative, appealing, or charming, that yes, I'm grown up now, adult now, mature now, I shave now, I'm man, I'm no more a boy, say. But later on, after 1 month, after 6 months, after a year, oh, it's such a boring thing. Then, oh no, need to shave now, need to shave now. And many boys now around the world, sports people and others in general, some celebrities, or um, I see many boys in India, you see, they will keep beard like this. Uh, Not shave. It looks, I don't know, to me it looks so dirty or horrible or how to maintain. It isn't any clean, and this isn't a good Vaishnava look though, having beard like this and trimming or keeping beard fashionable or it's definitely not like a Vaishnava attire, and Mahaprabhu didn't like any of these. So initially shave may look so appealing, but later on what? Oh, it's such a pain. Huh? Likewise, chewing the chewed. Anyone here who has not chewed chewing gum? I know Kartike has taken lots of chewing gums, right, Kartike? Anyone who has not chewed chewing gum, we all would have chewed chewing gum, right? Now, what is the nature of chewing gum? Initially looks so tasty now. Oh, I'm chewing this, some cream, some gel, something comes out. But later on, what? Jaws ache, jaws they get pain or chewing. And what happens? It does it give freshness to the mouth or breath? No, poor bad breath, and we don't like, we spit it out, then spit it out. So this is like sense gratification, initially looks so tempting, initially looks so attractive. So when youth is to be protected, youth is to live sane. One who can protect his youth, be female body or male body. Male body has a different working slightly, generally speaking. Female body has a different working slightly, generally speaking, again, and different attachments, different desires, some different temptations and all. So one who can control in youth time then can shape up such a good future. So chewing gum, na chewing initially looks so good, but later on, oh, spit it out. That is how sense enjoyment is. Tell me, any form of sense enjoyment, how much lasting is it? The benchmark or the test, what, how we can see, is it is it good joy, good fun? Is it pure? Is it spiritual? How we can test? Test is how much can I do this over and over again? How much joy do I get out of it over and over again? For how long do I get the joy? How in quantity, in quality, how much joy? For what duration? Hmm? And engaging in whatever such activity, does it free me from other troubles, tensions, miseries, or things which are going on in my life? Does it make me calm, peaceful, and help me come to a no complaint zone? If it does, then it is spiritual. If doesn't, then it is not spiritual. Simple as that. So we are mad. We have been beaten by this disease of sense enjoyment heavily, and again by this unbridled, uncontrolled senses. Na senses, they are like, see something nice, street food, or jump over it. uh, Listen some music and then get carried over by it. Smell something, get carried over by it. Again, listening is not a problem in Krishna consciousness. Listen to Kirtan. Na? Smelling is not a problem in Krishna consciousness. Offer flowers, we offer flowers to Krishna and we smell it. Huh? Such a good. Hmm? Then what? Seeing is not a problem in Krishna consciousness. See devotees, see deities. Go to temples. One formula say, next time visit temple, and we should call out when we take darshan, go to temple and see deities and tell them how beautiful you are. You might be having a rough day, a rough time, and you may be short of time. Don't share your problems. No needed to share. Krishna knows. And if we can go in temple room and tell Krishna, you look so beautiful. You have been dressed so beautiful today. The makeup looks so beautiful on you. And walk out maybe of the temple. Try this and see how you will feel. How you will feel. Uh, Compliment Krishna, you look so beautiful. Go to temples. Temples, na, in Aishwarya Bhav, Radha Krishna, they are served very nicely, elegantly dressed. So for deities, we should dress them elegantly and serve them nicely. For ourselves, yes, simple. Hmm, This. So this is like repeated, na, chewing the chewed. Nothing new. What new is in this world? Every year we celebrate New Year, na? Such gaja baja, such pomp for this New Year. And next day, what news shows how lights were done in London, how lights were done in Paris, how lights were done in New York and places, na? What happens? Typical New Year night. Is it not 31st night? Typical. What happens? Sense enjoyment. Nothing but sense enjoyment. So many people in January, they say January is the month for most divorces, right? Huh? Most divorces or breakups and legal lawyers, they have a busy schedule in January month. Fights, clashes, partners moving, separating houses, all this. And December month, no. October, November, build up December, no. Then October, November, so much Christmas shopping and all this. And uncontrolled, no? It's 31st night drinking, open drinking, all this happens. So, anyways, there's no end to it. There's no end to it. So, and time is always catching up on us. Uh, the purport is amazing, very practical, this instruction, and this is doable. One thing in human form of life is doable to come ourselves out of this attitude, mentality of sense enjoyment. मजा कहाँ है कहाँ खाना खाना है ना to come out of this sense enjoyment and we can uh, and practicing Krishna consciousness will find such a higher sense enjoyment. Okay, on this note maybe I'll take a pause or something. Any questions, any comments, clarifications?
Hare Krishna.
Hmm.
I just wondering, um, if someone tries to control his senses in a different way, maybe that's maybe unnatural, sort of like not connected to Krishna consciousness. What will happen to that first? Can
Yeah,
you tell
nice
me?
question. If we try to control senses, not in a Krishna conscious way, say, it's very, very easy in Krishna consciousness, very palatable to control the senses. The process is how it is laid out. But someone could not be exposed to Krishna consciousness, may not have faith in spirituality, and would want to control senses. And there are people who do lots of things, jigori pokori, hokori pokori sort of things to control their senses. Na hodgepodge things like what? Many people what? See this thing, Renus, can this not be done? Worldwide people to control their anger, what mechanisms do they use? One of the mechanisms, there are many mechanisms. One is what? Count till 10. Heard? Count till 10, and this will pacify you or divert you or calm down the anger. Or if you're too angry, count till 20. No, count till 5 or count till 10. So, look, can this not be substituted? The society teaches what? Count till 10. In seminars you go, government organizes so much well-being programs, seminars. But irony, we live in a very cover up society, very godless society. Why cannot we say, chant Hare Krishna? Huh? Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. On one side is count till 10. On another side is chant three times the full Mahamantra. Which one is better? There's no comparison by any far. Huh? So this is a bit of an artificial way. Okay, count till 10 works, but how long? You will be able to control once, twice, thrice. Then count till 20. One day may come, count till 100. Can we count till 100 then? No. But if we chant Hare Krishna at that time and we see anger will subside. Huh? So there are ways, there are means, artificial, so many society, school, college, uni, motivational speakers and all. They will tell all this to boost our confidence, to boost our ego, to help us attain success in life, to be more focused, concentrated, everything, but without God in our life, without the foundation being God in our life. And what good is that in reality? Not much substantial. And in Krishna consciousness, yes, please check out. Please check out. Involve Krishna in your life. And then bring all these qualities, then they will have all their values. All the values. Otherwise, count till this, count till that. uh, So many these different means. One more I will share. A friend in Leeds, he lives now in York. He used to come to Kirtan programs in York in England. And his diet is very specific. He has got some skin allergy problem, particular diets. So he was one day walking in city center, going across some cafes, and seeing what baked food come out. He was able to smell and see cakes and all sweets. And so much of sweets in Western world like that. Anyways, so he was getting very tempted to try the sweet, to try the cake and all. And he knows he can take certain amounts only, so certain cakes and some things and all. So yes, I will take them. I won't take the others. But at that time, he realized, oh, I've been to the Hare Krishna meetings. I've attended those Hare Krishna sessions meetings, and I've heard from them. What? When you get into temptation, try chanting Hare Krishna. What he did, let me try. He chanted the whole Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. And he crossed city center, walked for 5 minutes, 10 minutes. How many shops? Possibly 5, 10 pastry, cake shops, and all. And he walked further down, walked all the way to his house. And then he said, look, I didn't feel any upset about it. I felt so fine and it was a bit natural. It was easy, much easy, and I felt calm and I felt better that I didn't go into the shop and buy cakes. Otherwise, the after effect would have been very difficult. We should be fearful of the after effect. If we are fearful of the after effect, no, after effect of drinking, smoking, so such things and all, anger, then we will control ourselves. And there are some ways, different ways. The most natural way is chanting, although it doesn't seem natural, because we don't have that faith. But chanting is the most natural way. And this lots, this first text, this first instruction is like a milestone for us to achieve and see. Milestone. And it is when we work on this, then only we can advance. And just chant, associate with devotees, listen from devotees. Everything will come about. Sense control, mind control, everything will come about. Does that somewhat answer your question, Renas?
Mm, I think it is. Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna. Apologies, we are always short of time. Personally, I feel a bit unsaturated, very unsaturated. Feel like doing this text translation purport again, and maybe if we can read more, see more, share more. But for now, thank you very much for your kind attention and participation. And we'll see how Krishna takes us tomorrow, Guru Gaurang, where do take us tomorrow. Uh, Thank you very much. We'll meet up tomorrow, same time, and we'll see what we study. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.